Hi again, folks. It's some 4-player Power Grid now, and again on USA, though this time it's a little bit trickier of a map config, as we get me, Amits1, Daroj, and a new player to the game, RoaringPossum. I'm not sure what to make of Possum, because they have, I think, over 350 games of Power Grid on here, which is not a lot compared to the longtime veterans, but they have a 58% win rate. I'm not quite sure how to interpret this. I'm not as hot on the 3 here. I'll let Emmets pay for it. Yeah, there we go. It should go for 4. Ooh, Daroj paying 5 for it. Okay, well that's a pass for sure. I'll try to go for the 8. Let's see what happens. And Emmets buys the 5 as expected. Let's see here. So there's no potential for, like, total monsters on turn 2. 16 would be the closest thing, but that's still not game-winning or anything. Which makes me fine with the 8. Because this lets me make more money. I won't have to buy a plant on turn 2. That's an interesting choice of build when you're paying that much for the 3. I'm not sure about that. I may want to get closer to the cheapest part of the map here somewhere. RoaringPossum, that's an unusual start from Atlanta. Knoxville is a bit of a strange choice. So Emmets has incentive to only build 1, which means I get some kind of decent build somewhere. Actually, if I were Emmets, I think I might build 1 over in the southeast here. Like maybe Birmingham. And then try to go for the Twins after that, possibly. That's a good spot for you. Yeah, Emmets only goes Chicago. Now, in this situation, the quote-unquote safe build for me would be Kansas City and St. Louis. That's the safest build for me. But actually, no, with Oklahoma City, not so much. Yeah, I think this has to be Birmingham and one of the Twins, I think, is the build here. Yeah, I think that's what I do. Okay, that's a solid build for the 8 here. That's fine. Emmets, I think... Well, no, actually. Daroj should get Kansas City on turn 2. So he can really get a lot of the Mid-South here. Although I can fight this side. $24, okay. Not the greatest thing for me. I would like to see a good plans after 16 is what I'd like to see here. Daroj, so Daroj is going to be fishing for the 16 drop, I imagine, and he might be able to, in fact, I think he should be able to build to 3 this turn, which will give him a big early advantage. As expected, the 10 is not bid at all, because the 13 is a much better fit with the 5. And that all goes as planned for everybody. I definitely have no reason to build this turn. I should go to the bottom of the turn order. And there's still potentially good plants that could come after. Also remember, from Birmingham, the connection to the Twins is only 9. You're not paying... You would think of this jump... You would think it would be this jump that would cost you 10. But in reality, it's only 9 because you have this direct connection that's a little easy to miss. So I should be the richest player after 2 turns, although daroj... Yeah. Actually, it's actually pretty good that daroj... Okay. Emmett's built Cincinnati. I guess that makes sense. Try to get as close as he can to the cheap stuff. If I were Emmett's, I'd probably be looking to build Kansas City on the next turn, though. Daroj gets a lot of open space and got by far the best plant on turn 2, which is a bit of a problem. Our 24 is nowhere near good yet, which is a problem. Going bottom, I think I will definitely buy the 9 if everybody passes to me. I think it's what I do. And that's what's likely to happen. We don't get 21 or anything good like that. Actually, here's a question. Do I even bother? This is interesting. Buying the 9 here, it would break even for me. But I would lose out in the turn order battle. I'd really want to keep bottom in the turn order, personally. Wow! Wow, did not expect that from Emmett's. Wow. Okay, here we go. This is good. This is good. I can fight for this. Okay, well that just changed the game big time. Oh, I'm bidding for this, baby. Problem is this. 31 being on deck is not great because I don't want 31. Yeah, there we go. I'm happy with my 27, I shall say. I am happy with that plant. Possum buys 31, but again, I personally think that's a mistake. 18 being in the market next turn. So I think the build for me... Ooh, I need to think about this. I'm not buying any coal. Need to think about where to build because, unfortunately, I'm just a little short of being able to afford Jacksonville and Memphis, which is what I'd look at here. Question is, which of these do I prioritize? And the answer is probably Jacksonville. Memphis is better for me come step 2, but it's still not the greatest, necessarily. Emmett's should definitely build Kansas City. I expect he will do that. I'm very shocked that he bought the 9, though. I was expecting everyone to pass and make me decide whether to buy the 9, and I probably wouldn't even have bought it then. I would have just been willing to run coal at a decent price for one more turn and just stay low in the turn order. I think the answer for me here is Jacksonville. Block Possum out of the Twins sounds like the answer to me. Gives me access to more cheap cities. Which will be good because next turn I'll definitely be looking to buy 18. Possum's going to stay at 2 cities, which is very sensible. Needs to build up some cash. In order to use that 31 soon. Yep. Kansas City is expected, so Emmett's is getting a lot of territory here. And daroj deciding whether to build. Yeah, he doesn't need to build yet, so whatever. I forgot to mark off 18. 18, 34, 38. I'm not storing any extra coal because I might buy 18 next turn. Now, 8 and 27 is not a combo you want to fire together, necessarily. I'll bid for this, though. Oh, I'll definitely bid for this. I'll still bid. Reason being, I can build to 5 this turn. Yeah, okay. I'm fine with this. If I get the chance, I could actually build Memphis and Tampa, but that's not going to happen. Possum is going to need to build, and I think Possum will look at Rally Norfolk or possibly jump into Memphis. Daroj passes, so Daroj is really playing the turn order game hard here. Emmy's has to buy 15. That's a no-brainer. Yep. And there's 20, but alas, can't buy. So this is making me feel good because 15 might look great with coal cheap right now, but 20 is going to be bought by somebody on the next turn. I might even look at it myself because I can just stall at 5 cities with my green plans here. So I won't even have to run 20 until later in the game. But then again, I could also pick a better spot later in the game, too. Possum's not going to have a lot of money to throw around. They just need the most cities they can get. I'm thinking they'll go for Raleigh and Norfolk. I think they'll be able to afford that, but nothing more. Called it. Called it exactly. And there is... Oh, Amitz builds Memphis. Okay. So Daroj ended up getting fenced in pretty good. They got a reasonable amount of territory. I mean, taking the expensive connection into New Orleans doesn't really do me much good. And I can't even afford a 5th city with it, so yeah, no. This is just what I do. I stake out my cheap corner of the map. So when you're building last, you have to expect that you're not going to be able to break a stall. $38 out, 26 in. Okay. Someone else will bid for the 20. I don't even care. Wow! Well, that's great news for me. Oh, shit, and Amitz is going to buy 24 now. Hopefully there's a fight for 26. Please bid it up. Please bid it up. If Daroj gets this, he gets to control the price of oil, which could be handy right now. Because Daroj, then he'll get to build Santa Fe plus New Orleans. He should easily be able to afford that this turn. Please bid for this. Please bid for this. Like, obviously you're going to bid for this, right? And, like, Possum's in a decent spot now because they need to not burn coal. So they do need to... Okay, Daroj got that kind of cheap. Oh, boo. I'm still okay with having the 20, though. I'm okay with that. Daroj did pretty good, though. I feel like Daroj is probably the slight, you know, at least a slight to decent favorite over me right now. I have no reason to buy coal yet. Problem is, I'll be stuck at the top of the turn order for now. Possum has... Yeah, there we go. There's the jump for Possum. There we go. So what I'm going to do in this situation is just not... I'm not buying any more plants until step 3. The problem is that the green is not giving me a great advantage right now. Relatively speaking, because fossil fuels are quite cheap at the moment. $37 out and 11 in. Womp womp. I forgot to mark off 26. Dang. Okay. I really thought someone else would bid in the 20. Not that I'm complaining too much here. Yeah, I can't touch any of these other plants now. 12. Good, good, good. Let the market stall a little more. I'm okay with this. Ooh, I get to buy up coal now, which is nice. I think I'll buy all the $2 and $3 coal here. This will be my best chance for that. So Possum has potentially 2 endgame plants already. So I should be able to get another $3 coal on the next turn. Possibly. Because, yeah, 5 coal come back into the game per turn, so, yeah. Might be able to get another $3 coal in the next turn, which is what I'm looking for. What I would do here is... I could actually build to 8 this turn. But no. I mean, I would either build to 10 or just stall. Interesting that Possum's not buying uranium. I would personally, I think I might rather run 28 and the 10 than the 31. Next turn, I can build the Southwest. I can make a huge jump into there, but power 10 cities. 35 out, 25 in. Well, that's going to be a big deal. What I need to see is what the other players will do here. Emmy's having that coal stored is kind of awkward because he's not going to want to replace 24, of course. Nope, I don't get a $4 coal. I mean, a $3 coal. I do not get the $3 coal. Oh, no, he did fire... wait. I don't know what Emmy's is doing here. This is interesting. Like, if I'm Emmy's, I'd potentially look to break a stall here. Also note that the resources, if you, like, okay, if you have the, like, resources are restocked to the maximum possible, Well, this would have been the turn to build if I was going to build, so I'm not going to build now. Like, Possum should build here, I feel. Possum is a 7th city right there. Fargo. Up in here. And stalling at the top of the turn order is a great way to lose this game. The longer you do it, the worse it is for you. So I feel like Possum should have built the 7th city as soon as they could to give themselves a chance here. As is, I'm content to stay below them in the turn order because they're the player with the most capacity. They're the one that I fear. There it is. Okay. There it is. Okay. Sure. Well, people are going to have a lot of money to pay for plants. That's for sure. Did I didn't mark off 23. Dang it. Okay. So 34 will go under the deck. So I should be able to get cheaper coal on the next turn. I was actually making more money per turn than Possum there, by a decent margin. And 25 gets blocked from the market again, which is great news for me. Again, I'm not buying any more plants until step 3. Although with how this game's stalled, I'm not sure. We'll have to see. This game is a good example of how you can manage the 20 though. Like if you have other plants you can run it efficiently instead, and so you never have to use the 20 during step 1, that's what you want to do to make this plant work. And Amit's once again forced to buy a mediocre plant. Having to replace 13 is not good either. But there it is, trying to move the market. I feel like Daroj looks to be in the best position here. And now is when I buy my my 6th coal because I think I want to build here. Yeah. All right. Need to see what happens. I think what's actually more important than this, though, is that I stay below Daroj. And Amit's forced to overbuild. Yep, big monies. Big monies there. What does Daroj do? I feel like my biggest advantage over Daroj, really my only advantage, is the green plants. But the problem is... Ooh! Building all the way to 9. 10 even! Holy shit, okay. Okay. Trying to block my builds here. I see how it is. Here's what I do in this situation. So everyone's trying to block me as hard as possible. And yeah, build to... Ooh, so I can build to 10 here. This is great news for me. I feel like these players are kind of making a mistake overbuilding because of the amount of money that everybody has. Let's see, how many plants do we have left? So step 3 is coming on the next turn. I just build a 10 and stop there because I think Possum will also build to 10, so I should be able to get below them in the turn order too. And I will need a 6 capacity plant. And there are some decent varieties of those. 30 and 32 will be great here, and 30 should be solid as well. I should get a chance at those. Because there's 2 players that build above me, and they both need plants badly. I'm not going to touch 25, so not even going to think about that. Let's see here. I think I jump into Dallas for this. So I get myself out into the cheap part of the Southwest. Yeah, that's the play. So my builds ended up being kind of expensive, but okay, Possum stays below, which I think is the correct play. Problem is, you might as well just, see, you should just run 10 and 28 if you're going to do that. Don't burn all the coal. '20's turning out to be surprisingly valuable because of how hard this game stalled. And there's 46. One more plant left to go before the step 3 deck. So this is interesting because one of these guys needs a plant. I don't think I can end it this turn with a capacity lead, but I can definitely end it on the next turn. Let me think about this. Possum builds before I do. Only player who builds before I do. So I can get 1, 2, 3, 4. Five, 6, 7. Nah, 25 is not gonna work for me. And 50 was the last plant, so there's 30. I think I'll bid for this though. Once again, we know step 3 card is next, so therefore, yeah, Emmy's is just dead in this game, I think, because it's going to end on the next turn. Possum passes, which surprises me. This should still be bid up to like 50 or so. Because the problem is, I get stuck with a 4 plant if I don't get 30 or 32. Actually, Daroj might end the game now. That's the problem here. Daroj could potentially end the game. There we go. Okay. Well, at least I got a way better value than Daroj did. But even still, I don't think it's going to stop him. Possum, if possible, would need to buy probably 33. 29 or 33. And there's 33. And build to 14. Although, actually, never mind, because I matched Daroj too. Okay, so I got the much better value compared to Daroj. I still feel like Daroj would win this game on the next turn, but that's going to be pretty darn important to me. I don't know, though. I was, I mean, Daroj had the early money lead, but then I made the most money during the stall. And I get to block Daroj's cities, too, which is nice. All right. Definitely need to drive up oil as much as I can. For the D here. And there is a 7 plant there with 46, which is good news. Oil's getting a lot less cheap now, that's for sure. And obviously the extra on the 20 is a must. Yeah. Okay. I think the goal now is just block Daroj as much as possible. Game's going to end in the next turn. Nice thing is I don't need a 7 capacity plant to end the game here. Daroj getting blocked out of almost completely blocked out of the southeast is really good news, since that's the cheapest part of this map easily. I can only afford 1 more city. The question is whether to go for Houston or Vegas. I feel like I'm really only competing with 1 player for this game, and that tells me to go Vegas. Is Daroj really going to burn the oil in the 16? I personally would not do that at this point. Okay, he does it, though. Having extra resources stored, plus this, cheaper builds remaining, is nice for me. Well, we know I'm putting this up for bed. Because I should be able to get an easy 18 cities here. Darrow's dropped out of the auction. That makes me really happy. Hold on. What plants were came? 44 and 40. Okay. So I mean, there's enough solid plants left in the game that I don't have to worry about bad drops, because 37 and 34 are the only really bad drops left in the game. I'll put one more bid in on this, but Emmets is the one who desperately needs this plant. Emmets and Possum both. They need this plant a lot more than I do. A lot more. Yeah, it's going to be a little dicey whether I could get to 18. There's Possum. And there's 39, so yeah, no more duds here. Well, we know this... Since the game is going to end this turn, 39 is much more valuable than, 50. Because uranium... Well, I mean, it should be bid up, because uranium is only going to cost, like... Well, uranium's only going to cost, what, 3 or 4? So you're paying for the plant plus just that one use of uranium. If I bid one more for this, I think it'll be neutral with the 50. Damn it, daroj gets the 7, although... Can daroj get to 18 is the question. Because trash is going to be expensive with 30 and 38. Plus, Emmets is the one who needs 38. Emmets has to bid 38. daroj should put 38 up for bid for sure. And then Emmets should outbid them for it because Emmets is the one who more desperately needs the 7 here. Okay, that's good news for me. So daroj actually is going to end up paying more for the 40. Like, if daroj was going to buy 40, he should have bid one more for the 39, I think. So I won out on that auction compared to him. And the fact that he's not even touching 38 is great news for me. That tells me I should win on money here. Especially, I mean, he still needs to buy all the resources for all his stuff, and trash is not cheap. Especially not with Emmets getting 38. Emmets buys 1 extra trash. That's a little bit shitty because that makes daroj pay an extra $1 for the trash. Yeah. In my position, by the way, I could not have bought 38 at all. Because with Emmets and daroj both below me, they could have bought out trash on me if I had even touched 38. Also, I get Knoxville. That's good. I get step 3 Knoxville, which only cost me 25. That's good news for me. So the cheapest builds left for me would be San Francisco, which is 24, and then Houston or Knoxville are both 25. So that's my cheapest cities left. So it's 24 and 25. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I was worried that with fossil fuels staying so cheap, yep, big win for me, money-wise. So yeah, I won by almost $45. Dang. I was kind of surprised. I really thought daroj was going to be the favorite because of cheap 26. But yeah, I guess the long-term green plants and the cheap 20 won out. So yeah, that's another example of green power in action. Green power and how to use the 20 well. Really happy with how I handled the 20 in that game. Such a difficult plant to manage, and I think I did it as well as you can in that game. So there we go. Really pleased with my play and pleased with the result, and good game to everyone. See you later.